Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. So many
How's it
hellos.
going?
I
Hello.
I'm going well, I think.
We have the full stack today. We have the Nintendo and Anseridae.
Why did you introduce me like that? That's not nice. Didn't your mama ever tell you to be kind to people and not call them names?
She did.
uh anyway, we're
But
back.
she also knows I'm not good at listening.
Oh wow. She should have given you a hearing aid or something.
And she now knows what I
Relatable.
do. So hi mom.
Hello. Hello, Jade's mom. That's insane. Yes, welcome back to another episode of the podcast. You're joined once again by Anseri.
Yo.
And we're going to have some wonderful conversations today, right, Anseri?
So I guess I'll kick this off. Like I
Oh,
live
okay.
next to a port basically, and for the past I guess since I moved here, like for the few years, there's been like ships going by every day and like I could hear that. Nowadays it's dead fucking silent. There's like no ships in the port basically. Well, there
Yeah.
are, but they're parked.
Because where you are is West Coast,
Yep.
which means that your side would be getting those ships from China.
Yep.
Can we say the city or no? Because it's kind of puts into perspective
Well,
the
I'm
city.
right next to like the kind of Seattle Tacoma
Okay.
port area,
Yeah,
basically.
because Seattle and Tacoma, that port, is the most important port in the Northwest in general.
Yep.
And
Oh wow.
more important than Vancouver, more important than like San Francisco. Like that port is huge. That's where a lot of China's
Sort of
trade
like
comes in.
as
There's
important
no
as Cape
yeah.
Town port.
Yes.
There's like
Yeah.
no activity there
Yeah.
either. Like
The-
a bunch of like
yeah.
port workers are being like I think maybe laid off. Well, because like my brother like worked at they worked for I guess a recruiting agent. Like they were recruited basically at one point, but now they're not getting any work at like any of the ports and stuff. So
Motherfucker looking like Revachol out there.
empty ports.
Martinez.
There's no work,
Martinez.
no economy. Nobody can get jobs. There's no like we have like a port economy, but there's like no fucking just no Lamau.
Yeah. I have a Newsweek article up here. Here's a quote. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. A quote from this guy Mossy Matriarch. I don't know. There are no international ships.
Shipping ports in Seattle. Last one is scheduled for the 29th. That's already passed,
Yeah.
which means supply chain issues are now like going to start.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was also trying to get a new mouse as well, and I noticed they were all sold out since like last year, essentially, and they're still sold out now. Then they haven't restocked Lamau.
Yeah, and there's stuff apparently that's been shipped from China to the US that is only arriving here like now this month.
Yeah, so the last of the very last of the untariffed goods have been unloaded. So that means every single item that is going to be shipped in the country from this point and going to be on shelves. So basically, if an item isn't being sold right now, every item after this point will be affected by tariffs. Every single one. The last of the international, like it like that numbered, like that amount, that like marker of like that turning point happened today. So everything is going to be hit by tariffs, like starting from right now.
Wow. Trump really said no economy.
No economy.
It's no good.
Trump's doing degrowth shit, man. He's like he's a degrowth guy, but like on accident. But like a big thing that's kind of worrying here with the fact that from this point onwards, it's going to get so bad. Is that it's already the first quarter of the year is already ended. We're 3 months in, so the first quarter's over. And in this first quarter, there was a 0.3% shrinkage in the economy, which is very bad considering that all that happened was a stock market crash, which isn't that crazy. It doesn't affect the economy alone on its own, and the tariff prices hadn't affected goods yet. The economy shrank just on the fear of the tariffs. It shrank.
Yeah.
Are you sure it's not just the cold weather?
Now, the huge thing is, too, that Trump is still blaming this on Biden.
Yes, the Biden
which
economy.
is insane.
What the fuck?
The last time it shrank was under Biden, like when Biden had inflation issues in 2022. But since then, it's been growth, and then it shrunk again.
The thing is, like, look, I'm just going to lay it down realistically here for you. The current regime will always blame the previous regime. And I kind of know this because that's the South African way.
Yeah.
Like, we're now in 2025, right?
Right.
We are a full 30 years plus away from apartheid, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It still gets blamed for a lot of the issues we have in the country right now.
It's easy. It's an easy thing to point to in South Africa because apartheid really was bad.
Yes.
And it's in
and it
living
does
memory.
Still have problems that it's left over, right? Like, problems we had during apartheid are still here in some form. It's just not all of them.
I think a better comparison, I guess, would be like if, like, in a job or something or a business, like the fucking CEO was blaming like a CEO from like the previous CEO for something that they did, essentially.
Yeah.
Like shit stuff, like your fucking shit like went down this quarter, but then you blame the CEO from like 7 years back and stuff for this. It's like, what the fuck did that guy have to do with this?
That is essentially what's happening. Because I'll give you an example with South Africa, right? So, like, obviously, income inequality is awful. Education is awful. All of these things are pretty awful. But the fact that we can't keep the electricity going is not an issue because of apartheid.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that issue started in the late 2000s.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, you know, it's apartheid. They didn't give us enough to work with and all that. It's like, fair enough, you know, but you've had some goddamn time to build up. If you weren't pocketing all the fucking money and hiding it under your bed in US dollars, like, maybe we could keep the lights on in this fucking country.
Possibly. Maybe. No guarantee, though.
So they're super corrupt about something. That something falls apart and then they blame apartheid. Now, look, as I said, there are completely legitimate things to blame apartheid for.
This reminds me of you know that the thing falling apart. That reminded me of like when I was in Florida. Like there was one big like computer store there, but then they like the whole chain kind of went bankrupt because one dude kind of just embezzled all of the money.
That sounds very Florida.
They don't have computer parts in Florida. Yeah.
Very Florida coded. That happened at a job I worked at. I worked at a video store. It wasn't a chain video store. It was like just owned by this one guy. And he made somebody a manager because of like store politics and all that. And I was supposed to be manager. Like I was trained to be manager. And then he made somebody else manager. And then a few months later, I heard, no, the place closed down. The manager walked out with like all of the money, like the whole monthly
big bags.
You
just disappeared.
You just fucking looted the place and shut it down, Lamau.
Yeah, just overnight, just one day, was supposed
What did
to do
they
like
expect to happen?
cash up
Like
and
genuinely, did they genuinely expect that to go great or something?
who fucking knows? That's what happens. They didn't make me manager and they failed.
What do you think your life would be if you were
Go make
manager?
trade manager, Lamel.
If I had become manager, I would have made 3 times what I was making.
Damn. You think we still would have met?
I mean, probably. That was so long ago.
Yeah, but at that point, it's like such a sidetracking of your life that could have like led you to becoming
really.
like a local politician or some shit. I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
dear
you
God,
would have
no.
been president, Lamel.
Yeah, you would have
Wait, you
become
would have been
president.
like fucking. You'd be the shadow president of America instead of Elon
Yeah.
Musk, Lamel.
If I was shadow president of America, the things I would do to your country, oof.
Oh my god, why would you make me like a concubine or something?
I mean, like, you already are.
I'm like sitting next to you in a big throne room and like underneath the White House. It's called the Jade room or some shit like that. Big jade fucking statues of rats.
I'd build an exact replica of the White House, only I'd make it twice as big and build it right behind the White House. And I'd build it out of jade. And it would be the Jade House.
The Jade.
And it would be bigger. And every time you saw like a picture of the White House, in the back, looming over the back, would be the Jade House. Then I'd embezzle all the money and then leave to a third world country.
So wait, I gotta like fucking. So like right here, just a big old. Hold on, can I get like look at this? This is like. Oh guys, the president's here. What's that behind it? There's a fucking just a big fucking White House behind it. It's like, oh shit, they mean business. Oh no. It's like fucking in Pokemon Black and White when at the end of the game the castle rises out of the ground behind the Pokemon League and then it's just like, oh my god, the shadow government.
The shadow government. Speaking of governments doing shadowy things,
Yeah,
can probably cover a bit of that.
is it really shadowy
Nice.
to say what they did?
Well, it meant more money in their pockets, and that's
True. So, Jade, do
So,
you want to explain this?
for the Americans that don't know, VAT is value added tax. When you go to the store and you buy a stick of gum, that gum costs you what, like $2.
500 Trump's economy.
500 Trump's economy.
It used to be
Now,
less than $1.
as far as I understand, in the United States of America, when you get to the counter and you put that stick of gum down, they don't tell you $5. They tell you like $7. And then they say that's tax included.
No.
No.
That's like sales tax, kind of.
No, sales tax
Yeah.
is like included in the price on shelves.
Most? That's news to me.
That's how it
I've
is.
never
I mean,
seen-
this might be a state by
I
state
mean,
thing.
like on shelves, yeah.
I think
maybe.
it's a state by state thing, and your state
no,
is
actually,
the
no,
outlier
it's-
there, Riley.
In my state,
Minnesota,
the tax is added
when I
into the
lived in
price.
When I lived in Minnesota, that's not how it worked. It was you ring it up, and then the final price is where you see the tax. Otherwise, you just have to fucking calculate it in your head as you're.
I guess
putting-
New Jersey's more
That's
consumer
what
friendly.
you- So in
Yeah.
South Africa, we do it on the label. So what it's listed at, that's the price including tax. That tax is the value added tax. Now, recently, South Africa has realized that the economy is not getting better here. So the government's solution to this was, hey, what if we just like increased VAT? And all the people on the lower end of the economic ladder went, what the fuck are you talking about? To the point
Just
where the
tax-
DA and everybody was like, the DA at one point was going to work with the EFF to stop the ANC.
Just tax Elon Musk. That's like generally a better plan. Just tax Elon Musk, Lamau.
Well, he's an
Well, I mean,
American
that's your
resident
job.
now. Yeah, now it's our job. It's our responsibility.
It's your job to
Ah,
tax
damn.
Elon Musk.
Propose
He doesn't
increasing
do any
VAT to half
dealings
a
here.
percentage point.
So the reason Elon Musk doesn't have like Starlink or anything in South Africa is because he can't hire an all-white staff.
Yeah, he hates.
Like
He hates black
that's
people that much.
actually the real reason. Like he can't. Like there's certain things in South Africa that are like, well, you need to
Holy!
have some people.
Party favorability for the ANC is 29%. And
Yeah.
according to this one poll, and a different poll, it's 32%. Holy!
That's
From 58 in 2019 to in 6 years, it went from 58% to around 32%.
Wow.
That's insane. That's insane. I gotta get a statistic here for Democrats as their comparison.
It's bad, right?
Yeah.
So essentially,
here.
I mean, when you've pissed off everybody to the point where the DA and the EFF are working against you, and like consider not only that, the DA was working with, what's they called, Kusatu.
Oh, Democrats are like really low. I don't think the Democrats have broken even. What am I looking at here? What? Really? In March 2024, it was like 39.
Oh my god, that's an ugly ass website.
U.gov. Yeah, I've seen it used before. I just kind of clicked it. It was the second result.
The one I pulled up.
Oh.
The one I pulled
up. My god! Oh!
This is the Kusatu website. Do you know who Kusatu is?
No, I'm assuming they're communists because of all the fucking red.
The Congress of South African Trade Unions.
Yeah,
they're
trade
not a
unions.
political party. They're
They're
a trade union party.
Yeah.
So
holy
the DA,
shit.
a historically business-minded, business interest party, working with Kusatu and the EFF to stop the ANC from doing that.
Big money signs up with the workers to take care of their biggest opposition, bureaucracy. Oh my god!
This is an ugly ass website.
This is such a classic. This is every other leftist website looks like this. I gotta like.
Serious?
Yeah,
this
hold
is
on.
Awful.
I got another one that looks like this bad too. Hold on, wait. I might have. Oh, never mind. The website that's a different website.
I mean, look at this. Look at this biographies, right? Bio, Alina. This one doesn't have bio. This is just Becky. This is bio. Why put bio in? Why not put bio in?
All right, the website I was trying to look for was a Black Panther website that the speaker that I saw at my campus used, and he had it up on screen, and it looked just like this. It looked just like this, except more vertical instead of horizontal with all of its like layout stuff. Awful, truly great.
Just read that line. And
the ANC led the struggle for freedom, and no other party can take half the credit.
This seems like a relevant talking point in 2024.
The ANC led the struggle for freedom, and no other party can take half the credit due to the ANC for bringing the freedom and democracy in our land. Its leaders and members suffered severely for their efforts to achieve a united, democratic, non-racial, and non-sexist South Africa. He spent 27 years in prison, Oliver Tambo, and 30 years in exile. Like, yes, this is all true and fair, but saying this again and again and again while not fixing the fucking country.
Yeah, but remember, look at the question it's asking, right? Why should Kusatu members vote ANC? Why? Because they defeated apartheid 30 fucking years ago.
Yeah, it's...
Yeah, but what are you guys doing now?
Honestly?
We are now further away from apartheid now than all the time Nelson spent in prison.
To give a comparison, this is like saying, like, America fucking defeated the Nazis, but then, like, look what they're doing now. They're doing the Nazis.
I have a better U.S. history comparison. After the Civil War, it was very common for Republicans to get elected as the party that won the Civil War, the party of Lincoln, the party that ended slavery. We're those guys, and they continued that rhetoric until like the 1890s, and everyone was like, "You guys are really tiring. We don't want this anymore." And Democrats started to get elected a lot more because they didn't change their rhetoric. The only two things that the Republicans were doing were, we're the party of business and we're the party that won the Civil War, and that was the only thing they were saying for years and years and years. And then the Democrats came up as like populist party and stuff and small government shit, and that's what got them more popular. So it's reminding me of that, like a refusal to change the rhetoric up, and to actually also just refusal to do anything other than just austerity measures.
So yeah. This is unironically like going, hey, we're the party of Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah.
We are the Republicans. Can you imagine if J.D. Vance was like, but we defeated racism. We are
They literally say that. They literally fucking say that. They literally say that all the time. They're like, we're the party that ended slavery. We're the party that ended slavery. We're the party that ended slavery. We're not racist. We're the party that ended slavery. Meanwhile, if you look at the actual politics of what they advocate for, they actually say some stuff that would kind of hint at the fact that they think slavery was a good thing, but also let's not get too far into that one.
There was also the two-party switch that happened.
Yeah. In the 30s,
history.
in the 30s and 40s. Well, not really 30s, 40s. In the early 1900s in general, it was around like that time. The first truly progressive Democrat was in presidency. Was depending on how you define it, would have either been Teddy or FDR.
I'm no economist, right?
Yes.
But like raising VAT really doesn't seem like the best way to boost your economy.
It's some like UK austerity measure shit. Oh, how do we fix the economy? I don't know, just put a 5% increase on taxes. I don't really care. Let's not examine how our system functions. Let's just throw a number up. It's a very UK policy type of deal.
It's like, oh, we won't tax the rich, but we'll add a tax that mainly affects poor people, making them buy less, making the economy worse.
Actual Tory behavior.
I don't understand the logic, really.
It's literally
there's no logic. They just don't want to do their fucking job.
It's just conservative, like moderate centrist, like capitalism shit. It's the type of stuff, like I said, that Tories in the UK do when they have to, or at this point also Labour, when they have to fix something, they just throw up a tax number and go, more money in the coffers will mean more money in the government, which means better economy. And then like they don't actually do anything other than make poor people more poor. And then they just, well, South Africa is also corrupt, so they're also pocketing the money. And in the UK, that money just goes nowhere. Oh my god.
I thought all the UK money usually just gets funneled into North Korea. I mean, that's usually how it goes.
What? Are you suggesting
watching Fox News?
Are you suggesting there's a conspiracy theory that like the royal family has been sending money to North Korea or some shit?
No, like the fucking cause like they're kind of like a bank country and shit. Like they're treated as like an offshore bank by like
not the
China and,
like North. Well,
so there's certain parts of the United Kingdom.
I think Anseridae talking about North Korea.
Tax havens.
Anseridae talking about North Korea being a tax haven.
The Isle of Man.
Yeah, basically. No. Like fucking UK is like a tax haven sort of for like Russia and China and shit, and then those guys send money to North Korea.
Not so much in the grand sense of like the whole UK, but certain portions of the UK are tax havens, like the Isle of Man.
Delaware's like that in the US. Delaware's a tax haven.
It's just like, look, you put your money here, nobody's gonna fuck with it.
Yeah. That's why a lot of big companies have their headquarters in Delaware also. It's also why Fight Club takes place in Delaware.
Fight Club takes place in Delaware?
Wilmington, Delaware.
It does?
Yeah, I learned that like the other night because my dad was like, because my dad's moving to Delaware for some work, and he's like, can you find me some fun facts about Delaware? And I googled movies that take place in Delaware, and Fight Club takes place in Wilmington, though it was filmed in LA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look like what I.
It doesn't look like Delaware
look like at all. Like
no. Also, Dead
I
Poet
never-
Society
Delaware.
takes place in Delaware.
Yeah, I didn't know Delaware had palm trees like LA. That's crazy.
Yeah, big Delaware fun fact. They have the most beautiful Pacific beaches in the world. I can tell you, as someone who's been through Delaware probably 3 or 4 times, it is the most boring state, and it makes sense for it to be a tax haven. You know, the most famous person from Delaware is fucking Joe Biden. Yeah, yeah, it's his state. He was the senator of Delaware for like 40 years or some shit like that.
Delaware.
Yeah.
My condolences go out to any Delaware residents out there. All 4 of you.
All 4 of you Delaware residents. God, I hate South Jersey and Delaware. That whole area of the country is just like so fucking boring. At least that's because I mean it's like, to me it's like my own little Midwest in the most derogatory sense of calling it that. Like it's just fucking shithole. And in the north half of Jersey is New York, baby. New York. I had an argument with my dad the other night because he didn't know. He asked me, he's like, "Where would you want to move if you were to move anywhere in the country?" Because I was complaining about where we live, and he was like, and I told him, I was like,
Where would you want
I was
to live?
like anywhere in New England, right? Anywhere in New England. And he's like, okay, but he didn't understand what New England was. He thought New England was like just Massachusetts. And I said, well, anywhere in New England. And he started yelling at me. He's like, Dad, say a fucking state. And I'm like, I don't know, Maine, right? And he's like, but Maine isn't in New England. Boston's in New England. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then he started telling me to stop calling it New England because he thought that Massachusetts was the only thing in New England. He's like, just call it Massachusetts for fucking 20 minutes. And I'm like, I didn't. And then he's like looking at me like I'm a fucking nerd when I tell him it's the name of the region. It's what it's called. It's called New England. And he's like, yeah, right, buddy. Yeah, right. Oh my God. I was losing my mind.
Very Jersey coded.
I was losing my mind.
Just throw a Scandinavia at him.
Yeah, Scandinavia.
Speaking of which, this might be off topic a bit, but I want to dive into it a bit. You watched Clerks for the first time.
I did watch Clerks. Yeah, I actually, and I also finished reading Kevin Smith's Daredevil run, so I'm engrossing myself in Kevin Smith history, lore, as a Jersey resident.
Like the rest of Kevin Smith's movies. But what do you think of his style?
I love his style. I think that his style is stuff that has influenced things that I enjoy today without me even knowing that they influenced it. I think that's something that's very very poignant to say. So
do you know about Kevin Smith's various controversies?
Not really, no. But I do want to point something out here about like where Kevin Smith is like basing his stuff in.
Who's Kevin Smith?
He's a director.
He's one of those triple threats, writer, producer, director.
I did not expect him to look like that.
He's a New Jersey guy from Red Bank. Did you bring up a fat
photo or a thin photo? Oh,
I just pulled up Wikipedia. I pulled up the Wikipedia photo. Here, yeah.
He used to be really big.
Yeah, here's him fat.
What the hell? Those are just 2 different people. What the fuck?
No, he lost weight.
More like got a body double, then died, then like the body double.
So, yeah, he his stuff is in this area. This is the city he's from, is Red Bank.
Red Bank.
I've driven through Red Bank a few times. I hear Jay and Silent Bob's secret stash is I don't know what the fuck this is.
You gotta go. If you ever go there, you gotta take lots of pictures for me.
I mean, if I ever go there, like it's a faraway place. I could drive here in like under an hour.
Well, please do.
What's so secret about that stash?
It's next to a surf taco.
That's probably the secret.
Do you have surf taco?
That's their weed. Is that their weed? Is that his weed shop or his
maybe
comic book store? Comic
book store. Oh, I'd actually love to go there then. Do you guys have surf tacos by you, or is that like an East Coast thing? You don't. I'm assuming Jade, you don't have it, but Anseridae, do you have surf taco?
I haven't been outside in several decades.
Okay, well, surf taco is the most disgusting, fucking Mexican place you can go eat at. Oh, sorry, my bad.
Where's the quick stop then?
The quick stop's up here. Quick stop's up here. I believe it's gonna be not Quick Stop. Oh, it is this one. Yeah, Quick Stop Deli and Convenience in Union Beach.
So if you went like Street View there,
No, that's not. What the fuck?
not
That's
the
not
Quick
it. What
Stop.
the fuck? Well, no, because Quick Stop is a chain in New Jersey. I think. No,
Yeah,
Quick
but
Check is not Quick Stop. I'm stupid. Quick Stop, Leonard Avenue. This one. Here it is. This is the Quick Stop.
All right, Street
is
View
it.
me.
Street View and Leonard Avenue. That's
This
it.
is the Quick Stop.
That is
this
it.
is absolutely 100% the Quick Stop.
Yeah, it is. There's a dog.
I fucking love this place.
Yeah.
I've never been there, and I'll probably never be able to go. But look at it. Look at it. Oh my god, that's what's across the road from the Quick Stop?
Yeah,
People just live there?
Yeah, these homes are like crazy. Like, these are probably newer than 1991 when the movie came out. But you can see the New Jersey lottery that they were talking about in the movie. There's Randall.
I assure you, we're open.
Yes. They have
This is
lovely
this is
stuff.
like such a thing for me. Like
This is where they dance with the
Mallrats and
fucking
Clerks.
this is where they dance with
Yeah.
the radio.
Is there a
The stereo.
particular Kevin Smith movie that you're most excited for?
Probably Mallrats, because I've been to the mall that movie was filmed in.
Wait, which movie was that with the Quick Stop? Was that Fight Club?
No, that's
That was
Clerks.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen either of those movies.
This is the mall the
Oh,
movie was filmed in.
you'd
I've been here
love it.
before. It's a dog shit mall, but I've been here before. Like, this is the movie that's filmed. This is where this movie's filmed, and I think that'll be really cool to see that. It's a dog shit mall. It's really fucking disgusting, but I've been there. I have my coworkers from Eatontown. Like, he talks about, he's like, I run Eatontown with an iron fist, but like, I'm from this area here. The Jersey Shore. I'm from this place. Asbury
yeah.
Park. I used to live in Asbury Park for a long time.
Kind of reminds me of Somalia, Lamau.
Kinda. But that
will
means
say
that
this,
Asbury
right?
Park is the Mogadishu of New Jersey.
This will surprise you, Riley.
Yeah.
Like by Clerks 3,
Mm-hmm.
I cried.
Aw.
Like, think of that franchise. Think of that movie. Think of Clerks, and think of the fact like that movie brought me to tears.
That's a good sign. That's a good sign for me. I think. I already lost where. Oh, there it is. It was on a different Leonard. Wait, there's two
thing
Leonard
is-
Avenues. There's a Leonard Avenue over here, and there's a Leonard Avenue over here. What the fuck?
You got to realize how long the Clerks franchise is, as far as the separation between their movies. So, Clerks came out.
91.
Let's see. The US release date 94.
Oh, 94? I'm stupid.
Yeah. Then Clerks 2 came out in 2006.
Wow.
And then
12
Clerks
years
3
later.
came out in 2022.
Look at this.
Wow.
It's literally just a normal ass convenience store. They got the fucking
Yeah.
dog shit ass New York Post in here too.
Because you know the story of like behind the scenes of the first Clerks movie.
I don't know actually.
So you know the video store that Randall works at next
Yeah.
to the Quick Stop?
Yeah.
That's where Kevin Smith worked. Like that was his actual job.
That makes sense.
And what he would do is he would pretend to be the manager, right?
Mm-hmm.
And take out credit cards on the business's name, where he pulled together about 20,000 US dollars and used that to film the first Clerks movie.
Wow.
I knew that movie has
So
like
did
no
they-
budget.
20,000 budget.
20,000. All on
Shot in,
credit
like,
cards that he's
a
not supposed to
day.
have.
And then obviously it blew up. It gave him his entire career.
Did he pay that 20,000 back? Or no?
I assume he did because he made a
He made a
good
lot of
chunk
money. He's
of
got a
change.
comic store. Oh, here's the Jesus from Dogma.
Yeah, Buddy Christ.
Buddy Christ. That's another one I
Holy
would like to
fuck.
watch because that one
That's
apparently
the
has a scene that's filmed in
guy.
Asbury,
Hello.
which I lived there for a bit. Fucking Kevin Smith
thing
Funko
about-
Pop.
So I was mentioning that's so bad. The thing I was mentioning with his controversies, right? So you want to know his controversies?
Yeah.
So there's two major ones. There's the religious one and the LGBT one. Which one you want to hear first?
Let's hear the religious one first.
It was about dogma.
I figured.
So when dogma was released, Catholics were not happy.
I don't imagine they would be.
Catholics were not happy. Now, this coming from Kevin Smith himself, who was raised Catholic. Because, of course, he was in Jersey.
In fucking Jersey.
So he basically made it as his understanding of the religion and all that. But there's a funny point when the movie was released where what was it? He picketed? I think that's what it's called.
For striking?
Yeah, like they went to go picket his movie and
Yeah.
he joined them, the picketers. And there was apparently like 10 people out there. Like it wasn't a big picket, like it was a
No, it's fucking it's probably
but
like Red
he
Bank, New
joined
Jersey.
them out there. But here's the classic part, right? While he's there, a camera crew comes on from the local news station and is like very clearly knows who he is and starts interviewing him, and he gives like a fake name, like his friend's name that's there with him. Like they brought placards and everything. Like he made a placard to picket his own movie. And he's just like, oh, I'm so disgusted by this. No, I'm definitely not Kevin Smith. But though I have been told we look alike.
Oh, this is footage
Like
of
he's
that.
just there probably is. There probably is of some local news station or something.
We can
Like,
find that. Hold on.
but just the idea that he would go picket his own movie because he finds it funny. Like that's the type of director that Kevin Smith is, and I
think
can
I found
really
it.
respect that.
News 12 New
You think you
Jersey.
found
Oh
it?
fuck, it's a station I know.
Oh God, I've never seen this actually.
The new movie Dogma opens tonight, and it's
AVI,
already
that's
generating a
pretty
huge amount of
remote.
controversy, and so is its creator, Kevin Smith, who lives right here in New Jersey.
News 12 New Jersey's Caroline Shively reports on one protest against the movie in Eatontown tonight.
Organizers in Eatontown had
what a
hoped for
name for a
hundreds to
video.
join them in the protest against the movie Dogma. Instead, they got less than 24, but they were joined by this man. He wouldn't admit it, but he looked and sounded suspiciously like Dogma's writer, director, co-star, and New Jersey resident, Kevin Smith.
I don't think it stands for anything positive.
What does it stand for?
I don't know, but I've been told not good.
The movie follows two fallen angels who try to get back into heaven and the people who are fighting to keep them out.
I was the 13th apostle.
You knew Christ.
No, brother owed me $12.
But lines like that have many groups angry.
We're here with a small number, but we're the church militant. We should have more Catholics here. If this was a direct attack against Muslims or the Holocaust or the Jewish people, you would see them outraged.
The protesters didn't seem to slow down the number of
Wait, fuck, I've been to this theater.
people pouring.
I've stood here. This is the theater I go to. This is the theater I go to with David.
This is the theater
I
where
walked down
Kevin
these steps
Smith
after
picketed
watching
his own movie.
I went to this theater with David after we watched Brave New World. We walked down these steps and I filmed him and I was like, "What did you think of the movie?" And he's like, "It was bad."
Into the theater to see the film.
That's crazy. I didn't know I could see it in the
more,
90s.
actually, if there's controversy about it.
I think they might be taking it too seriously. I mean, it's just a film. It's a comedy, so you really shouldn't take it too seriously.
The battle between the protesters and filmmakers.
It's so funny that they're just like, they just brush over that this is clearly Kevin Smith.
Just think about what he's saying. Like
In another timeline, you could have been picketing with Kevin Smith.
In a different
that'd be so
timeline. I would have to have been born like 20 years earlier.
Nah, man. You could also just build a time machine, probably.
I could build a time machine, go back to 1997 or 98 or wherever the hell, and be like, I'm here to pick at fucking Dogma. Also, by the way, in 2001 on September 11th, the Twin Towers will be struck by.
By the way,
They already know.
By the way, so
No, it's 99.
He also got into trouble with the gay community.
Why? Was it because of Chasing Amy?
It was because of Chasing Amy.
Mm.
But I think he's still defensible there.
Really? That's rare for you to say. Defending someone who has a reason not to be defended.
You don't even know what it was about Chasing Amy.
No, I don't.
What was it?
So Chasing Amy.
What is Chasing Amy? I've never seen a Kevin Smith movie.
I haven't seen this one
So
either,
in
but
short,
Jake's talking about
it.
Chasing Amy follows these two guys who they're comic book writers. The one does the art, the one does the writing.
Oh, nice.
And the one guy falls for this girl.
And then the two guys kiss.
You'd be
Probably.
surprised.
That's how
You'd be
I'm
surprised.
Whatever.
So the guy falls for the girl. The girl's not Amy. She's just like some chick. And he finds out that she's a lesbian.
Relatably.
And he tries to wrap his head around the whole thing because he really digs her. And then they eventually do end up doing some like fun times together. But the problem is that he's got the idiot character in his movie who says shit like, oh, you know, all a lesbian needs is a good dicking down.
Right.
And this is also the guy with one of the most lines in the movie. I think he's Brad Pitt, or not, Ben Affleck's character. Ben Affleck's character. And he says some of the most wildly... He says,
how did they get...
Ben Affleck.
Yeah, how did they get the duck from that car insurance fucking
No,
commercial?
that's Gilbert Godfrey.
Gilbert Godfrey.
Oh.
But you see, here's why it's defensible. See, Kevin Smith's own brother is gay. And he wrote it as a movie, like, kind of for his brother. And his whole thing of like, oh yeah, the guy says lines like all a lesbian needs is a good dicking down. That's also the idiot in the movie. If you're listening to him, you're listening to the idiot in the movie who's going to say all of the dumbest stuff. Like, you are actively missing the point. It's a media literacy thing.
I see.
It's a media literacy thing of like a lot of gay people got mad because obviously that's hurtful and painful and very wrong takes to have on a lot of these topics. But Kevin Smith is like, well, people do have these takes. People are wrong, and this is the idiot in the movie.
Then yeah,
you should really watch it. It's damn good.
I mean, yeah, I will. And Sari, we will have a movie night for one of this because Jade said that they were probably gonna pick at some point a Kevin Smith movie.
It's just I'm so torn which one to pick between Mallrats and Dogma.
I think I'm more excited to see Mallrats.
Have you seen the cast for Dogma though?
I did see the cast. There was like Alan Rickman, Chris Rock, fucking like damn, that's a lot of those are big names. And I saw there was fucking like
Selma Hayek.
Yeah. Who?
Selma Hayek.
Selma Hayek? I don't know who that is.
Well, I mean, this is Selma Hayek.
Just don't watch the.
She was in Wild Wild
Dragon's
West.
Dogma movie or whatever.
Dragon's Dogma. Double
Like,
Dragon's
There's
Dogma.
like a fucking animated. There's
probably
like an animated
recognize
series
it from
on Netflix
something.
or something, and it's like actually written by Ayn Rand.
Pull up.
Essentially.
It's
It's neoliberalism. The movie.
Pull up. Well, no, she wasn't. I guess she was neoliberal. Pull up her Wikipedia article and see filmography. I saw her. She was in Wild Wild West, but I never saw Wild Wild West. Spy Kids 3D Game Over. Okay, I do know her then. She was in Spy Kids 3D Game Over. Was she? Who the fuck was she? Click on it.
I don't know.
Who was she? Cast.
Nobody important.
No. Additionally, Selma Hayek appears as Francesca Giggles, the wife of Donegan, who is keeping him in line after it happened in the last film. Oh, she was a side character. Francesca Giggles.
Probably because this is not her full filmography, actually. She started all the way in, like, Mexico or something.
Mexico.
Yeah, Desperado was her first big role.
Oh, yes. Robert Rodriguez.
That reminds me of something unrelated, but did you know the person who played like Harry in Harry Potter?
Yeah, Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, they're still making movies. They're still like active and shit.
Yeah, he never stopped making
time
movies.
He had guns. Harry
Yeah,
Potter
guns.
with
That was
and
Guns
then,
Akimbo.
Yeah,
Where he wakes up with guns attached to his hands.
Yeah, and then there was the one where like recently, the most recent one I saw was the one where like he's a clone or some shit.
That was
like,
Mickey
there's multiple
17. That was Mickey 17, and it wasn't him. That was not Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh.
That was Robert Pattinson, I think.
How did they had a clone of Daniel Radcliffe and they named him Pattinson? That's crazy.
Yeah, that movie. Are you talking about this
They
one?
got an actual.
You talking about this movie?
Yeah,
That's right. Yeah, that's Robert Pattinson.
I can't believe they cloned Daniel Radcliffe for a movie about a clone of Daniel Radcliffe. Wow.
Yeah, I wanted to watch this
That's
movie because this is
dedication,
another Bong Joon-ho movie, and this guy makes good movies. He
makes decent movies.
Parasite, The Host. He makes good movies.
I'll admit, I've only seen one of his movies, but it was fantastic.
Which one was it?
You can probably guess. The American one.
Snowpiercer?
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah. He makes good movies.
Did you know it's made from a French visual novel?
Yes, I did know that.
It's a Korean...
Yeah, trends.
It's a Korean movie made from a French visual novel marketed towards Americans.
Do you know the scene in Snowpiercer where they had they grinded up the bugs into bug bars? And I was just thinking, that's a really fucking expensive form of protein, you know? Have you seen the price of bug meat in America? Nobody can afford to eat the fucking bug in America as you
At least it wasn't Soylent Green.
Soylent Green. Daniel Radcliffe.
That's another one of my favorite movies.
So, and Anseridae, after he was done with Harry Potter, he never really stopped doing movies. He was in Horns, I remember that one.
Crazy.
He was in Swiss Army Man, where he played a corpse. Guns Akimbo was in 2019. Escape from Pretoria.
I've seen like a bunch of recaps of a bunch of.
I think Escape from Pretoria was meant to be like one of those like Escape from LA movies.
No, I think this is a documentary about a real life guy who escaped from a prison. Tim Jenkins and Stephen Lee, two white South Africans, are carrying out anti-apartheid missions in South Africa. They arrested on the spot and prosecuted. Jenkins is sentenced to 12 years in life. These are real people. So this is a documentary.
Okay.
You know, whenever I see Daniel Radcliffe in a movie or something, I always get the impression that he's like kind of sort of homeless or something.
That's kind of what he likes to do.
Yeah,
Look at these movies. Lost in London. Wait, what the fuck is this?
I get the impression that like he was a child actor that got really big, but then like all they know is acting or something. That's like the only way they support themselves, kind of.
I mean, he literally was in fucking. He literally played a corpse in Swiss Army Man. Like
is Daniel Radcliffe what happens when a child star doesn't get abused?
Yeah. This is what happens when a child star is like, all right, I have so much money and my name is golden. What can I do to have fun for the rest of my life? This is what happens.
But his name's not golden. None of these movies did anything.
No,
nobody liked any of these movies.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. His name is good. What I mean is he'll owe it. No, Swiss Army Man's good. I've seen it. Some of these movies are like like obviously they didn't do good, but like his name is gold and he'll always get a good paycheck. So no matter what he does, he doesn't have to worry about his career tanking. He's literally Harry Potter, so he'll just be in whatever the fuck. He doesn't give a shit.
For me, I always got the impression like acting for him is like getting a fucking part-time job at like the local 7-Eleven for like most
I could just
people,
imagine, like, in
basically.
20 years, he's doing shit like Criminal Minds or CSI or something.
I feel like Elijah Wood's also been in a lot of weird
We
movies
should
ever
see
since
Swiss
Back to the
Army Man
Future.
at some point. Swiss
Oh, that's
Army
an
Man is
absolutely wonderful pick to have. I feel
That's
like
probably gonna be my
oh,
pick for next movie night.
What is all
I
right?
think.
So
Well,
let's see. Elijah Wood. He hasn't been in a couple weird things. He was in Toxic Avenger. He was in fucking The Monkey. He was in Come to Daddy, which was a really weird movie.
I think the weirdest thing I saw him in was when he was in Sin
Color Out of
City.
Space.
Who is this guy again?
This is Frodo. This is Frodo
That's
Baggins.
Frodo. I will say there was a pretty good fucking series with him and Dirk Gently.
What?
Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency.
Oh, I forgot he was in Red vs. Blue. He was Sigma. He was the Sigma
Yeah, he
AI.
was Sigma.
Wow.
But there, 2016, 2017.
Also,
Dirk
I like
Gently's
how
Hostilic Detective Agency.
Holistic.
I like
Fucking puppy can't read.
how you told me like I shouldn't game while doing the podcast episode because then I'll get like sidetracked on a long rant of how Skyrim is terrible in comparison to Morrowind and shit.
Yeah.
But then like we're getting sidetracked from politics, Lamau.
Oh no! This is a fine sidetrack. This is what the podcast is for. But when it gets to be about video games, then I feel like it's not about the podcast anymore.
Yeah.
This is what the podcast is for. Oh, there's Sin City.
Yeah.
So there's no video games on the podcast, everybody. Lamau.
No gaming itself. It's not a Let's Play series.
No.
It's a podcast.
So what about game dev stuff?
That's different. That can be talked about.
Game design and shit.
Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency is written by the same guy who wrote what's it?
Dick Jet.
Don't
Dirk
panic.
Gently.
What's it called?
What?
I thought it said
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Gently.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah, the same guy who wrote Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
I can't find the
Dirk
writing
Gently's.
credit on here anywhere.
Douglas
Max
Adams?
Landis?
Or was it the guy who took over after
Oh shit, this guy did Channel Zero.
moved it?
Oh no, wait, hold on. It doesn't say this guy did sexual assault allegations.
So the original Dirk Gently books were written by
Oh, the books, you mean?
Yeah, were written by the same guy who wrote the books for
Douglas
Hitchhiker's Guide.
Adams.
Douglas
Yeah,
Adams.
Douglas
Yeah.
Adams.
But he didn't write the series because he died in 2001.
Oh.
Yeah. So like
He didn't get to see 9/11.
I think like Douglas Adams' last Hitchhiker's Guidebook really fell off because it wasn't written by him. I'm pretty sure. You know.
Yeah, the fifth one. The fifth one wasn't written by him.
Yeah. I was like, I'm reading like most of the way through this, and then like it gets sidetracked with like the people having sex in the sky, and like, this is really fucking boring and shit. Like, what happened to the Douglas Adams writing that I knew and loved?
The only
Turns out it
Douglas
wasn't
Adams,
even
the only
done by
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy things I know is something about a number, and yeah, and in Fallout 1 or 2, there's an Easter egg where there's a dead whale on the ground in the middle of the desert, and that's apparently a reference to Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
We should watch one of the old Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy movies or something.
That's always been something I wanted to do.
I only saw one movie, and the movie did not really capture Douglas Adams' work very well. It's not a bad movie. Look, it's not a bad movie by any stretch, but
is it the one with the big robot kind of dude?
Yeah.
The depression. Oh yeah, I've seen that one.
Yeah,
There's also like
them.
some shows and or like movies like that happened before that one, like kind of, but like it showed stuff from like the other novels and stuff that I think did a better job of capturing the story, though it's like not as like big budget kind of.
Yeah, they traded out budget for story. and it really tells.
Hmm.
But I love the whole like Douglas Adams form of comedy. Sometimes it's just like
Mhm.
that simple out of left pocket sort of fucking out of
Mhm.
nowhere stuff. Like the one alien who's immortal, whose entire goal in his life is to insult every living being that ever exists.
Wow.
That's really
And he
funny.
That's
goes
hilarious.
around on a spaceship. The thing is that not all societies are like clued in on spaceships, so he's got to hide it. And what he uses is not like a cloaking field or anything like that. He uses something called an SEP field. And this is basically somebody else's problem. So it's there, it's not hidden, it's in plain view, but you can't see it because it's somebody else's problem. It's out of the corner of your eye. It's not like it might as well not even exist. And it's just this really realistic moment of like human beings are like that. Like people will walk past a spill on the floor or something broken a million times and never
I
even
would have
pick up.
just, I would have just hid it under a big tarp. Lamau.
That is the kind of shit you see in Douglas Adams. I think it's in the fourth book. I think it's the fourth book where they like look, this is spoilers for anybody who's really into the series or something, but it's also very old. They all travel to this like one planet on the edge of the universe where apparently God's final
The
message.
restaurant. Oh, the restaurant at the edge of the
Oh, that's
universe or
also in
something.
Fallout. That one's in Fallout too.
I thought that was like the second
Yeah.
book.
No,
Second book
that's the
or two.
second book. But in like the fourth book, they go to a place where
They
apparently
go
there's
back
like
there.
God's final message
Oh,
for
that one. Oh,
yeah. And they take this arduous journey where they have to go on foot and walk over these hills and mountains. And it's like big Sisyphusian sort of level task. And when they
Almost
finally
as.
get
Mhm.
to the final message that God has left for all creation, in giant flaming letters over the landscape, it just says, "We apologize for the inconvenience."
Wow.
And it makes you think. First of all, there's what? This is a multiple. This is a we, not I. We apologize for the inconvenience. What do you mean? Like that just opens up so many questions in this statement that's supposed to answer everything, and that's sort of like the comedy I love out of Douglas Adams is like this doesn't answer any questions, but I do have more questions.
Just hearing about this, it just reminds me of like a Monty Python thing. That's what it reminds
Yeah,
me of.
well, he was that level of comedy, really.
Mhm. We should have more Douglas Adamses.
We do need more Douglas
Yeah,
Adamses.
we need like a big room full of Douglas Adams just
I
running
think Ben
around.
Elton is also quite good in that vein as well.
Mm.
He's also a comedy writer, worked alongside like Douglas Adams
Also,
on
you
some
mentioned
things.
Sisyphean tasks. Well, fucking trying to install mods for Skyrim in the modern day
And
has
we got
become a
there.
Sisyphean. Lamau. Yeah. I spent like what? How long? Like 8 months trying to fucking
I
install mods for
don't
Skyrim, but it
I
kept
don't
crashing
know
to desktop.
why you have so many issues with Skyrim.
Because it's a terrible game filled with a bunch of design mistakes that nobody would ever make if they knew anything about game design. You know?
Maybe it's just the special edition or some shit.
Look,
No, it's all they fucking like.
Because I have never heard, Skyrim has been out since 2011. It has had critical acclaim for over a decade. And I have
No,
not
it
heard
had problems
anything
since
that you
day
have had
I think
issues
one.
that
with
critical
before.
acclaim is misplaced.
It is misplaced.
I'm just saying, like, the
It
amount of
only got
attention, the amount of people
critical
who talk
acclaim
about it,
because-
I've never heard anyone talk about, like, not being able to mod it. In fact, I heard the opposite way, where they have too many mods, and that's why the game
Oh
breaks
no,
for them.
I used to have a bunch of mods, but recently, because of the fucking latest update, all of the mods broke, and now you have to hunt down the exact specific version for the version of Skyrim that you're playing, like the version of the mods, and you have to read a bunch of shit and like down patch some stuff at some point, like sometimes, depending on like what mods you're trying to install. Like I'm trying to get like the fucking bare minimum to have my save not be corrupted after like 50 hours of playing and stuff, and apparently that's like impossible now. Like just having like the bare minimum like fucking patches and fixes is like impossible to install
But
now.
on the Elder
It takes
Scrolls,
more effort. It takes more effort to fucking make Skyrim not crash to desktop so hard that it breaks fucking Task Manager even than it does to like just make your own fucking game, basically, right? So at this point I could just like make my own game, which is kind of what I've kind of been doing and stuff.
but on the note of Elder Scrolls, nobody here has played Oblivion.
No, I haven't
I've
yet.
played
The
a shit
remake.
ton of Oblivion. I've
The
fucking
remake.
beat the shit like oh no, not the remake, because that's just a graphics kind of downgrade in a lot of places.
But they have changed other things other than the graphics.
Really? Oh yeah, I read that they changed the leveling style, but like at that point, like if
The
you want like
leveling,
different
the
leveling
combat.
style, I'd play
Apparently,
fucking
the combat
Morrowind
is
for that.
Souls inspired.
That sounds interesting. I
Oh, they
think.
try to is it like one of those mods for Skyrim that added Elden Ring style combat kind of?
I think maybe, but I
What
don't.
does Souls
I'm
combat entail? Like
somebody
rolling?
probably. The thing is
I've
that
actually seen.
I played Oblivion a lot.
I think I saw a clip of the combat, and it looks more like Skyrim combat, kind of. But like Skyrim combat is very fucking terrible, Lamau.
I think
So
anything can look
I
like
didn't like
Skyrim
that.
combat if you're just a bad enough player. Then it just kind of looks like Skyrim combat. I could
There could
play
have been a
Dark
clip
Souls
of a
like
bad
Skyrim, or if I
player.
just don't roll, I don't lock onto anything, and I just get swinging
Yeah,
around.
if you don't move, Lamau, if you just stand in place and just click left mouse button, or like whatever you have the attack button bound to. I have my attack buttons bound to spacebar and K, by the way.
You're
Because my
left-handed.
mouse is broken, so I can't have the other attack button on right click and spacebar. It has to move to K. Because left
I don't
mouse
know.
button is broken.
I'm very apprehensive about this
And I
Oblivion
can't even
remake.
get a
Like,
new mouse because of the fucking tariffs. God damn it.
I played Oblivion more than any other Elder Scrolls game by a long shot. Like, I one day sat down to play Oblivion, and for the next year, that's all I did from waking up to going to sleep was just play Oblivion for an
Relatable.
entire
That's really
year.
cool.
And this was unmodded, mind you. This was like completely vanilla.
That's probably what, like, playing games for years was what I used to do when I was a lot younger as well, Lamau.
I did that with Victoria too.
I just don't know if the remake, for somebody like me, is it worth my time?
You would probably hate it because you're a contrarian.
Okay, that's mean.
and
What's a
well, it's
contrarian?
true. Because something's popular, you will hate it or at least criticize
I
it.
hate popular things usually.
Yeah, you're a contrarian
Just
too.
because they're popular.
Everyone I know
Yeah.
is a contrarian.
Yeah.
No, that's an exaggeration.
Morrowind is actually a very good Elder Scrolls game, especially the one that wasn't like has 0% of Bethesda's original code. That was like completely like all of the code was like stripped out, and then they made a new engine for it, basically like a fan-made engine that's notably not made by Bethesda and stuff. That's a great version of Elder Scrolls game,
I will say, it feels like when they were making Morrowind, and this kind of does track and doesn't track with Oblivion, but when they were making Morrowind specifically, you could see the love and care and time taken to make the world. Whereas you don't feel that as much in Oblivion, and you really don't feel it at all in Skyrim. Like, I think my best example out of Skyrim, and Anseri, you'll probably like pick up on this because you've been playing it recently.
Oh yeah.
But there's a character in Winterrun, I think it's called
Winterhold.
Winterhold. Basically, the town is meant to be split up into like the lower district, the cloud district, and the castle.
That's
Oh,
Whiterun. That's Whiterun.
Whiterun, right. So there's one character who will wander around and be like, oh, certainly
Naveem.
you haven't been to the cloud district. It's like,
Yeah,
have you
Naveem.
stepped 3 feet to the left?
Yeah. So
Have you stepped 3 feet to the left?
Yeah. The fucking town is tiny. It's literally smaller than a village IRL. It's like literally there's more houses on the fucking block that I live on than there are in all of Skyrim combined.
Yeah.
Wow. In all of the towns.
And all of the towns have this feeling of like these things only exist because a player is going to wander through here. Like Oblivion didn't always feel like that. Yeah, like some of the towns are obviously like.
So fun fact about
I wanna add in.
when I
wanna add in.
Oh.
Because
yeah.
I think that the thing with the Skyrim towns being small, I feel like that was kind of the norm for games at that time. Right?
No.
Yes. Like RPGs, like at that time.
Go back to Arena.
Fucking minimize everything.
Arena was not a 3D game. Those were not 3D worlds. Those were a lot smaller in scale. And Morrowind has the same level sizes of cities. Morrowind isn't bigger. Morrowind just feels bigger because it's. Vivec is huge, but Vivec also fucking sucks. And you can't convince me otherwise.
Yes,
Vivec fucking sucks.
But world building wise, look, gameplay wise, Vivec does suck a bit. But world building wise, and within the world, like you aren't playing the entire province of Morrowind. You're playing one.
You're playing the Wild West area, basically. And
right,
like,
so that explains why most of the towns are very frontier small towns.
Yes, in Skyrim, there isn't. I will admit that yes, Skyrim doesn't have like the level of detail in lore.
The fucking cities are supposed to be like actually fucking huge, basically.
Yeah, but that's a limitation of the fact it's a video game coming out in 2011. Like you can't be like judging it by standards of like today, where we have shit that's like fucking like The Witcher 3 or Cyberpunk 2077, where you have massive cities where you're able to fucking go into every building and shit, or like near. And it
came out like how many years after Skyrim?
5 years.
Okay.
5 years later, and
that's like
it's only one city. I'm pretty sure it's like one big city with a bunch of villages. I haven't played it, but I have played Cyberpunk 2077 stuff. But like,
you haven't played The Witcher. It's not one big city. There's like 3 or 4. I think.
So there's 3 or 4. Sure. So like it's 2011. It's a 2011 game that's also trying to have a huge.
Let me put this into perspective for you, right?
Mm-hmm.
It makes the world seem really fucking insane when you have those small cities and you decide to put a character in there that's like, oh, that place that's like 4 feet over there and up 2 steps. Oh, that's too rich for my blood.
This is
like it really
a part of gameplay for like it's suspension of disbelief. It's like when you're playing a game where you're in a big city.
My point
is, the impression that I get off of the annoying NPCs in Skyrim, like the impression that like I always got, or like what most people get, is like when they see like all of the world's just filled with like horrible, annoying NPCs and stuff that are just mean to the player and shit. It's kind of like encouraging you to like just murder those NPCs. Because like there's no reason to care about them, kind of, and like there's no consequence for killing them, sort of. Like
there is. There's bounties.
Murder and redeem, and like not even load your game. Just literally no. Like the prison time doesn't even like affect your character at all. Basically, like there's no penalty. If anything, it's like it lets you level up more, kind of. So like yeah, like literally just fucking like what I was gonna do when I was modding Skyrim was I was gonna get the mod that makes telekinesis like good and like you could pick up people, and I was gonna like fucking drown him in like the Whiterun, the thing in the Cloud District, that little watery area, because it's like ironic justice basically, and I thought it was funny, Lamau. Oh, I haven't been to the. You don't think I've been to the Cloud Districts very often? Well, let's go there, Lamau. Let me make it your final resting place. Goddamn. Just fucking drown him in the thing, Lamau. That's funny.
But no,
Drown him
problem
in the
is
fucking Cloud District sewage.
the whole of
serve you right.
Skyrim is suspension of disbelief. Like, I know it's a fantasy world and all that, but there really is as
There's a
wide as an
limit to-
ocean, as deep as a puddle.
There's like a limit to how much you can suspend your disbelief, because like they're expecting you to suspend your disbelief and pretend that the gameplay is actually fun or good when it isn't.
Like, you
Lamau.
could be a lumberjack. It's like, yeah, you could watch the
you
cutting
could
animation
spend
for 9 hours.
So spend like hours watching this boring fucking the same animation for like a million years.
I don't think Skyrim
Instead
is
of
like
doing
a fun game. I don't think Skyrim is. Whenever I play Skyrim, I get bored incredibly quickly. I've never even beaten the game. The thing is, my issue comes from when you guys talk about stuff. Is sometimes it feels like it's standards that are kind of like, all right, like what are they gonna do? Like there are definitely ways, like pointing out the fact that like there's so much stuff you can do, and so much of it is incredibly shallow and ends quickly. Like that's a good complaint for me. But it's like complaining the size of cities is like, well, I mean, like the 2011 RPG. I'm not going to complain about like that type of stuff, you know?
I mean, I don't complain about fucking Morrowind having small cities, because at least in Morrowind the cities feel well put together and shit.
I still know. I even think that the cities in Skyrim feel put together well. I think the world in Skyrim, like the actual look of the world, the way it's designed. Well, why do you fuck do you mean oof? I think that's the best part of that game. That's the best part of that game. Just like the fuck you.
Well, I mean, to be fair, like it's the least broken part of Skyrim. But like the second you get any quest that takes place like anywhere,
like walking around Skyrim without engaging with any of the game's content and just walking around Skyrim is the best part of that game. The best content of the game is just looking at the actual game itself, not actually playing
I
it.
remember what a friend of mine used to do, right? A friend of mine had a really, really like big setup for their PC at the time, like a really powerful setup with all the bells and whistles, like 5.1 surround sound headset. And what he'd do is he'd walk to the top of the throat of the world in Skyrim, like just max out the volume on his headset and just have the environment, like wind and all of that stuff.
Yeah, the environmental sounds and stuff is great if you can hear them.
That's fine.
You
Like
know?
the sound design of the Elder Scrolls in general is fairly good.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Jeremy Soule doing the soundtrack, and he's fucking.
I will
good at what
admit,
he does.
Skyrim is like one of the better walking simulators I've played. Kinda. I mean, like,
The thing is that when you compare it just to something like Oblivion, yeah, the graphics don't look as nice. Yeah,
honestly,
the
Skyrim
NPCs
graphics
talk
without
to themselves.
mods. Skyrim graphics without mods looks like fucking plastic, honestly.
I just disagree with that.
Have you seen the screenshot I sent of in like the gamer thing?
Yeah, it was a screenshot of a game not loading, which that's
the fucking it
very
unloaded
Bethesda.
the goddamn the fucking textures unloaded.
Incredibly Bethesda.
You know, actually, I have played a better walking simulator. Have you played Stranded 2?
No.
Stranded 2 is fucking gorgeous. It's the first. It's literally the second ever 3D survival crafting game. It's like the sequel to the first Stranded, and it's like really good. It was made in the same engine as SCP Containment Breach, and like so technically you could like port mods over, kinda ish. Like you could have like a crossover mod technically, like, but no, I don't think anybody's done a crossover mod yet. But they were both made in like the same engine, and that like stuff made in that like style. I think that style is gorgeous and stuff. And fucking the writing in Stranded 2 is also really good and stuff. It's some of my favorite writing in all of like games and stuff. And it's
What
made
was
by
that other new RPG?
What now?
What do you mean?
What was that other new RPG that released recently?
What do you mean?
Baldur's
I saw there
Gate?
was no. That's not recent. That's very old.
Okay.
There was one called like Sissa, like Claire Obscura or something. Was that it?
All right. So
Maybe.
Expedition
I just
33. Let me
remembered,
see. Let me pull this up. This is
kind
it?
of the only reason,
This?
that I'm playing Skyrim right now is because I want to speedrun Necromage
Oops.
vampires and stuff.
This?
Because like for me, the most fun part of an Elder Scrolls game is making a cool build and then never actually using it, Lamau. But like in Morrowind, I actually like use the cool build
I
and
don't know
stuff.
if it's that.
It's a turn-based
Morrowind
RPG
is really good.
that
No, it
came
wasn't
out.
turn-based.
Okay. As you said, it's a recent game.
Yeah.
Let's see.
How recent is recent?
I just googled recent games. New
This
releases
year,
out now.
maybe?
New releases of this year.
Avowed.
Avowed. That's from last year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was Avowed.
This one skipped me over. I didn't pay attention to this one at all. But it's new
Which
Obsidian
was
game.
apparently made by the same people who made New Vegas.
Yeah.
They also
apparently
made.
It's well,
What was that other thing?
It didn't get very good reviews.
Yeah, because Obsidian kind of made one good game, and that was Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah, what was that
Um,
other game that they made somewhat
Outer
recently
Wilds.
that was like supposed to be a spiritual
Outer
successor to
Wilds.
Fallout New Vegas? And
Outer
Oh, Outer
Wilds.
Wilds, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry, Outer Worlds.
How
Outer
did
Wilds is a
this-
different game. Outer Worlds.
Oh,
I played this game.
yeah.
It's not good.
Wasn't Outer
Oh,
Worlds
yeah.
also not good?
No,
Or at least
Outer.
disappointing?
What do you mean Outer Wilds? You mean
Outer Wilds?
Outer Wilds? This game is
Outer
incredible.
Wilds?
Outer Wilds.
Yeah,
This is a
this
good game,
game's
but this isn't
great.
them. This isn't them. This is a different game, but it has a similar name. But I was accidentally saying it on
I'm talking
accident.
about Outer
This-
Worlds.
Yes, this game is bad. I was just saying that. Yes, this game is bad. Just first of all, it's an ugly game. I feel it has very ugly look about it. It was hard for me to keep my eyes on the screen. Way too saturated.
I mean that's. Well, I mean, like that screenshot you showed at least looks a little bit better than Skyrim.
I disagree.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah, no, I disagree. It's supposed
I mean,
to be.
if you took away the UI, then maybe.
No, this building looks like
And
shit.
the garden?
It's also
Okay,
very
yeah,
zoomed in screenshot. It's just this game is ugly, and it's also very poorly writing. There's like so it's a game that's very much like space capitalism. You get to see how awful capitalism is and stuff, but like you walk into the first town in the game and it's like not subtle at all. You walk in and there's like dead people in the streets and it's like they can't die. They're company property. Oh, welcome to the company. How may I? Like the least no subtlety at all. No subtlety. And it's just that the entire game with unfun combat.
So what happened?
I don't know.
What's the theory here?
I don't know. It had Tim Kaine on
such
board.
A beloved studio.
It had Tim Kaine who
clearly
made
knows-
Fallout.
Yeah, he is the Fallout guy, isn't he?
Yeah, he was a part of fucking
He's Tim Fallout.
yeah, he's part of Tim Fallout and part of Interplay. You
know what I just remembered? What this reminded me.
I don't know what's wrong
that
with this
no
one.
subtlety thing. So in Skyrim, it kind of has a similar problem where like it railroads you into doing the quests in like the same one way.
Yeah.
And there's no like freedom. But remember that that clip we did in Morrowind where we ask no questions, tell no lies and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like we decided to do the quest in a slightly different way, and it was fucking hilarious and stuff. And like Morrowind has that freedom of like, you know, you could fucking do whatever, and like the world actually kind of just like works.
But that is a lot of the problem with the newer games is that they keep talking about how it opens up more freedom, more to do.
Yeah,
this,
more
you can
freedom
do
to
that.
like explore these tiny boxes that they box you into, but like
But,
in
like,
Morrowind and like older games,
It's like the
there's
animation thing, right?
Mhm.
So when you're crafting in Skyrim, there are these long animations that you got to go through. These
Yeah, like
long
slamming down your
animations
hammer on an anvil
every
for
time.
3 hours.
And it's like, this is unnecessary. This is like games didn't do this before. Like maybe they weren't
like-
as visually like
In Skyrim,
Michael
when
Bay.
you open up a book, you have to wait for this slow fucking animation, and then turning the page is also a slow animation and stuff. In Morrowind, when you click on a book, it just opens, no animation. It just instantly opens.
Okay, this is one of those dumb criticisms that I think is like fucking stupid and honestly makes me fall asleep.
Okay,
Or
Riley,
when the UI actually like is responsive, right? And in Skyrim, they slow down the UI and makes it feel sluggish.
I
and
get
stuff,
what
I
you're
think.
saying, Riley, but like consider a different perspective here, right? If you're interested in playing a game, any game, for multiple hours, like you're going to be playing this game for 3,000 plus hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you really need to see the 4-second animation enough times to fill up hours of your time?
There should at least be
No,
an
but
option
to me-
turn off the fucking UI animation.
To me,
something.
Yeah.
isn't the appeal of this Elder Scrolls games to me, I thought was always that you wanted to be incredibly into the world as possible.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you're turning
Yes,
the page at exactly the same rate every single time,
I have
it kinda rips
literally
you out of the immersion.
never
because
even
it's the same
thought
animation.
about it. It has never even been a thought in my brain.
You haven't been. Have you been playing Skyrim for more than like 5,000 hours? Have
I
you had
played a
more
fuck
than
ton of it on my
5,000 hours?
Switch. I played a fuck ton of it on my Switch. I never beat it, but I
I've
played
been
a fuck ton
playing
of
it
it.
for decades.
So what
kinda.
you're saying is this is the game that you never beat. For what reason? You got bored.
I got bored. Yeah, I'm not saying Skyrim's a good game. I'm saying that some of these criticisms here are like
No, that's what we're saying
shit
is
that are
that
dumb.
They're
these
the
aspects.
criticisms you have after you
This
played
is
it
the
for
dig
like
down,
12
right?
times.
These aspects are what makes it boring.
Yes, but instead of talking about playing the game for like 1,000 hours, isn't that part of what's going to make it boring? You've played it for 1,000 hours.
No, because I've played
'cause when I'm-
CK3 for over 3,000 hours.
That's a different
and I'm
kind
still
of
not
game.
bored.
That's a different kind
No,
of
but
game.
the point is,
That's
it's
not
a
the
game.
criticism of like the fucking like.
I don't have to
like-
wait 20 seconds to open up a simple menu in a game like CK3 because it understands if you're going to be doing something. This is base game design. If if the player is going to be doing an action hundreds, if not thousands of times over a multiple 100-hour playthrough, multiple times, because remember these games are designed to bring people back in to play again. Your player is going to be doing these things 1,000,000 times. They don't need to watch the animation every
I understand
single
that for like the
time.
crafting and stuff. But for the pages, I don't get why the pages are a complaint. That's like such a minor issue that
like,
just feels like such a pointless thing to point
read
out.
one of the fucking in-game books. I'd rather have a big full screen I'd rather have like the Morrowind system or something, or like do it how Avowed does it, because Avowed has like a actually improvement over like more like Skyrim, and I think even like Morrowind, like Avowed does it better with like the UI for like books and shit, honestly, and like dialogue too. Like, because I've seen some clips of like Avowed's dialogue. For like credit where credit is due, Avowed's like dialogue system is pretty nice and stuff.
I
It
haven't
seems
actually
pretty
seen
similar
the
to
dialogue
Morrowind.
system. I'll have to look into that.
I literally know
It's
nothing
really
about
good.
Avowed. That game
I've
kind of
seen-
like
I've
came out,
seen-
and I know nothing other than the poster.
It has great like for an RPG. I think Oblivion did the whole RPG thing better than Avowed, but the fucking UI stuff I think Avowed does really well and stuff for
I only
specifically
saw
for
a
like
bit of
dialogue and stuff.
All I've seen is a bit of combat, and the combat looks really tight. I will say that. But
Combat
look,
is better than most
remember to me, Oblivion was the game that got me into real gaming. Oblivion was the game that got me into RPGs. Oblivion was the game that got me into open world. Like, there was something fantastic to me about the fact that how many games do you know have their own library of books? Like, yes, given some of those books were written in like Daggerfall and Morrowind and just ported over, but how many game franchises do you know just have, hey, here's a book that some asshole in this world wrote. It's about some interesting shit. Or maybe just about a lusty Argonian maid. Like, maybe it's just something silly, but
probably
I can't think of a ton that have that. Like, not even Dark Souls has.
I can think of
Dark Souls
Witcher
is the
3.
opposite of that, where there's absolutely no in-universe lore, and you gotta fucking get out the fucking anthropology textbooks to figure out what the hell's going on in Dark Souls.
Yeah, so for me, it was not just. I got into Elder Scrolls, not even for the gameplay, not even for the. How can I say? Like, none of that. Even the direct story as it's being told in the game feels like the less interesting part of a giant history. It feels like a living, breathing world. And I don't know how those people who pulled that off made Skyrim.
So,
and it really tells me that the studio are not the people.
Yeah, so a lot of the people who worked on like Morrowind and Oblivion I think weren't there for Skyrim. But like that also reminds me of like the quest design cuz like in Morrowind there's like tons of fun quests and shit. And same in Oblivion, tons of like really cool quests and shit, quest lines even. And they're like really fun. But in Skyrim, like in Morrowind, like even the minor quests have like something going for them. But in Skyrim, I have this example where like you go to this lady in like this one place and they ask you for 10 bear pelts. And then like, okay, after you do that, they just ask for 10 more. And it's a repeatable quest, but it's like it just ends there.
Yeah.
And
But
there's
that
like
was
it's just a
all so
pointless
they could
quest.
push the marketing of like there's
They
endless
fucking
quests.
they filled the fucking world with endless like pointless quests that
Yeah.
are like literally just fucking tedious like grinding kind of, I guess. And like
Here's a little bit of behind
at
the
least
scenes, right?
in the
Do
previous
you
games,
know?
the quests actually had like were quests.
Yeah,
Yes.
but the most stark revelation in that sort of vein of what you're pointing out there is, do you know how Mayik the Liar is handled in each of his 3 games that you can find him in? So obviously he wasn't in Arena or Daggerfall. His first appearance was in Morrowind, right? And in Morrowind he works like this. He's on a rock in a part of the map that if you're doing things properly, you'll never get to. You will never naturally find Mayik the Liar if you're going about the game properly. But then you can find him. And if you attack him, he's literally too fast. He will run away immediately and he can walk on water and he's immortal and he's too fast. You cannot chase Mayik the Liar. I'm going to skip over Oblivion for a moment because in Skyrim, he's assigned to a random encounter chance once you hit a certain level.
Wow.
Like that's it. That's it. He'll say 3 lines and then he'll go away again. The way he's handled in Oblivion is fucking fantastic. Every day, for about 6 hours of his day, he'll drop whatever he's doing and run around certain parts of the map between like Leowen and Bravil or something, looking for forks or tweezers, but something like that. No, what's it? Calipers. That's what it is. He spends he is coded. He is physically in the game at all times looking for calipers along the road, and you can actually, if you drop calipers within a certain distance of him and wait, you can actually get him to come to you.
Wow.
And then when he's not looking for calipers, he'll make a specific run between 2 towns. But every day at the same time, he will stop that run and just start searching the entire map for calipers. There's no reason for this. There is no reason.
That's
and yet,
awesome.
That's what they put in the game. They don't do that anymore. Like, oh no, we'll just assign him like a random encounter chance at this level for this percentage of time. Like, that's what it's become.
Modern RPGs have gotten really lazy, and like fucking Skyrim's not even modern anymore. Lamar.
Yeah, it's like 14 years old.
Uh-huh.
So I think
They
that
got really
there's a
uninspired
certain
too as well.
yeah. That's the
somehow.
thing is they there's so
Whatever
much that's
happened to
been lost in the art
yeah.
of just that natural storytelling.
Yeah, the fucking magic of like older games is like
It's like,
fucking
why does
amazing.
this character do this thing? Well, because that's them. Not for a gameplay reason, not for a lore reason, not for. That's just who they are.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You're the one here who hasn't played like these games, Riley.
Yeah.
You really are
Like
missing
even
out. What you need to
yeah,
do is immerse yourself in Oblivion for a bit. Like not the
I
remaster, the
can't.
original.
I'm not built in the way that you two are when it comes to games. I can't sit
The
and play a
fuck does that
game.
mean?
I can't play a game for a long period of time and then not drop it. Right? Like I don't like you said you played Oblivion for a year, that's all you did. I could never do that.
didn't you play?
I don't
Didn't you
have
literally play like what's it called, Victoria or something for like a year?
Yeah, but that was that was like a stretch. It wasn't the only thing I played, but it was the primary thing I did
No,
for
for an
like half a
entire
year.
the
For half a
only
year.
thing I played
Yeah, I could
was
never do that.
Oblivion.
I could never do anything remotely close to that.
But the thing is
The
that
closest thing I
I
did to that was
believe you
Baldur's Gate
can.
3.
I believe you can with Oblivion. What if I told you that even with what you're saying about how you play games and how you get bored, like I will give you that if
Just
you
treat it
just
like D&D, where like
if
once
you
a week you
immerse
play a
yourself into
character.
it, you will get lost in Oblivion. It is in a fantastic world.
I'd need to get a mod to fix the UI because the UI made me angry when I first played it. Like the second I
So
do,
play the remaster.
I don't have money, so the thing
Like,
that
follow, subscribe. We also have a Patreon.
the thing that makes it hard for me to really get into games sometimes, like, or at least it kind of like stun locks me for a bit, is when I play a game and then it offers, like when I was playing Oblivion for the first time and I was like out in the world for the very first time and I opened up the map and I had locations already fast travelable to on my map already. That fucking destroyed me, because then it was like, shit, where do I go? Shit, I don't know where to go. I don't know what to do. I can't go linearly. I have to go to all these places before I do anything else, because that's the way I play games, and that made it so I really had a hard time playing Oblivion, because it was like, there's too many things for me to do. There's too much. It needs to be narrowed down. I need to have a blank slate. It happened last night with Minecraft. Like I found a village, and like while I was on stream, I found a village, and like there was a bunch of shit there. It's like, I can't take this. I have to restart. Like I've ruined the progression. I can't do this. I don't do well with like that open progression. Like here's fucking everything, and you already have some stuff to like go to. I need a blank slate.
So for me, like when I saw like the like things in Oblivion where like you could fast travel to the major cities, for me it like kind of made sense because like at least like those are just the major cities, right?
Yeah, it was only
so, like,
major cities.
yeah,
The idea being that your character wasn't some random asshole stumbling into the Grand Province of Cyrodiil. Number one, you start in the literal center of the province, right? Number two, you are an established character in that world. Regardless of what you create in that moment, the understanding is that you lived in Cyrodiil and were imprisoned in Cyrodiil. So it stands to reason that the major cities in Cyrodiil would be known to your character.
So I will say like something about you know how like when you get like a bunch of options and like Riley gets like decision paralysis, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when I play like an RPG, I usually always have a very specific plan for what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, but I
Kinda.
don't know what that plan would be if I'd never played the game before.
On a first playthrough, that's a bit hard, but like, here's my recommendation. Do you have Oblivion?
I own Oblivion. Yeah, it's even downloaded too.
Okay, when you play Oblivion, you do the tutorial dungeon, you leave there, and ignore all the major cities on your map. go straight to the Imperial City and bomb around there. If you want to take the game like seriously, don't fast travel to a major city if you haven't been there yourself. The downside of this is that, admittedly, traveling through Oblivion, walking, not fast traveling, is not exactly like high fucking art.
I see. Well, the next
they don't have the random encounter system that Skyrim has, and although you will still get random encounters and you still will get like other things on the map,
Funny
a
story
lot of
about
the map is just speed tree.
So, funny story about like some of the random encounters in Skyrim. One time, well, recently in my current playthrough, I had one of the random encounters break because I was too close to a farm, and so the NPCs from that encounter ended up being just farmers. So I see like the fucking ebony warrior just working on the farm, and I can't interact with them because they fucking now have the farmer dialogue, and they're just plowing the field. So there's like the ebony warrior just fucking in the fucking just fucking plowing potatoes, and like he's glitched basically. He's just permanently like. Then he like after a while he just despawned and stuff, and he's like not back. So it's like fucking like the fucking ebony warrior guy that you're supposed to fight.
Do you know what I both love and hate about talking Elder Scrolls with the two of you?
Yeah.
We can go about gameplay and mechanics all fucking day, but I'm the only one who gave a shit about the lore.
It's not that
I
I
really
never gave
love
a shit
the
about the
lore.
lore. It's just that I haven't played much of the games.
Yeah, which means that you also, like, not because it's bad or anything, but you also don't give a shit about the lore, mostly out of the fact that it's from a series you barely played and games you've never finished. And, like, of course, like, I'm not expecting you to give a shit about the lore in that, but I just feel like I want to talk about the fucking lore of Elder Scrolls and, like, the fucking 9 divines, the 8 divines, the fucking
Have
Daedric
you seen?
princes.
I always thought that like in Skyrim the old religion before like the fucking nine divines, the one that was like more wild kind of
Oh,
was like really
the
cool.
old Nordic religion with Istyr. Yeah, that's some pretty heavy shit. That's hardcore Viking shit right there.
Like the one with like fucking Kinnereth kind of, but it's like called Kine or something, I think.
Yeah, kind.
Yeah.
But I mean, like the Daedric princes used to be my favorite thing, and I can't even say like Riley, what's your favorite Daedric prince? You won't be able to say. You don't know shit about the Daedric princes.
Sheogorath.
You just say that because it's the meme answer.
I only know he's the only one I know.
There's Boethia, there's Meridia, there's Molag Bal, there's...
Oh, I know Molag Bal.
I think Azura is pretty cool.
Azura is pretty cool, but Azura is like the edgy teenager always to me, because Azura's whole thing is they hate the undead. They have like domain over the living and the dead. And Azura hates the undead, so all of Azura's missions are always something like go kill a whole bunch of undead. They suck. Is that Azura or am I thinking Meridia?
I don't know. I don't think
Because Meridia has the beacon. In Skyrim, you get Meridia's beacon, and then Azura's star is the.
Are you sure that's Meridia that has the beacon?
I'm fairly sure.
I thought that was like Mara or something. Let me double check.
Yeah, it is Meridia's beacon.
Oh, I guess it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
so yeah, I think you just
okay.
have to kill a bunch of undead that took over her thing.
Yeah. I don't like
think-
that one. That That was very like for one thing, when you pick up the beacon, the dialogue can't be stopped or paused in any way, even when you tab out or pause the game. It's just like blasting your speakers and shit. And so you just have to mute the game.
I love this
There we
Disney
go.
princess art.
This is very Disney princess coded, but
You,
there's Shagorath, of course.
I think
Maroon's
Vermina looks
Dagon.
cool.
Maroon's Dagon was the BBEG for Oblivion.
Yeah.
Basically, the story of Oblivion for, like, fuck your spoilers. This game's like 20 years old. Maroon's Dagon has his cult of followers who are all like, listen, we're going to open up the doors of Oblivion to Maroon's Dagon's realm, because each of them have their own realm. It's not like they all live in a place called Oblivion. Oblivion is a place of many places, and they each have their own realm within Oblivion. Maroon's Dagon's realm is basically just like very Christian hell coded.
Right.
And he wants to do the Christian Satan hell thing of like, we're going to take over the world. Because his sphere of influence is ambition, I believe. Ambition and war. Whereas where's this motherfucker? Is it Molag Bal? Or Boethia? I think it's Boethia.
I see.
Or who's the one of betrayal, isn't it? Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
Boethia's sphere is betrayal. And safe to say, like, most of the time, just to have a conversation with her, she's like, murder your best friend.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, like, in the lore, Boethia vored Malakath and then shot
Yes.
him out, basically.
Yes, and that's why orcs look like they do, because orcs are actually awesomer, which are actually an elven race in Oblivion.
Right.
In
So,
Elder
by the
Scrolls.
way, that reminds me, do you know why the Dark Elves look the way they do? They used to look like Vivek, I think. No, they used to be yellow, kind of. The Chimer.
Chimer, right?
Yes.
Why did they turn dark?
Chimer. So basically,
Don't they worship?
the tribunal basically were like kind of like false gods, sorta, and then Azura was pissed off because
Right.
thingy. So they turned the Chimer into the Dark Elves, essentially, basically.
Right. That all had to do with Azura.
Yeah.
Riley, you might like her scene. Her scene's the
Hersene's
furry Daedric prince.
What they do?
They're the ones that give you the werewolf perks in Morrowind. If you
cool.
Their
which are like the
sphere,
only useful like undead race perks.
their whole realm is called the Hunting Grounds, I believe.
Mhm.
And they're very much like, who's that Greek goddess of hunting?
Athena.
Artemis,
yeah.
Athena's goddess of wisdom.
Yeah, I'm stupid. Artemis, yeah.
Yeah, her scene is very much Artemis coded that way. Hermaeus Mora is one that you see a lot in Skyrim. You've played Skyrim, right?
They're in the DLC.
Yep. They got a whole DLC dedicated to
Oh,
them.
right. They're the one with the book or some shit. And then you like...
So
that's Dragonborn's DLC, right?
Thing,
that's the one.
Yeah, that's them. I never played Dragonborn.
The funny thing is their realm is like has all of the fucking fan books, like anything written by any fan of like Elder Scrolls and shit. And so like the fucking the one where it's literally just a fanfic of the guy having sex with like one of the things from Skyrim, like that's in Hermaeus. Like all of the porn of Skyrim or like any Elder Scrolls thing is in like Hermaeus Mora's realm, which is probably why he looks like that with all the tentacles.
All the tentacles, yeah. I was about to say this completely explains the tentacle monster thing. Because here's the thing, here's some like general things about the Daedric princes. Number one, they're called princes, but they do not actually have a gender. They are forces of nature, if you will. Like, they are part of the makeup of the very, like, world, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, they're concepts more than people. They're
Have you
not
seen
gods. They're like
Paride or whatever? How's his name pronounced?
Perite.
The one at the bottom there. Paride.
Perite. Periite.
Yes.
Yes, Periite. Periite
Yeah.
is the dragon that's never ever given the credit of being a dragon.
Yep.
Nobody thinks of Periite as the dragon because Riley, when you see this picture, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think is Periite's influence? Like, what is their
East
what are they
Asian,
conceptually?
like I don't know.
Like, this is ambition and war. This is the hunt. This is like knowledge.
I would assume
This
he's
is like betrayal.
Well, dragons are like wisdom sometimes, or they're like ferocity.
You're
so-
thinking of Akatosh. You're thinking
Yep,
of
that's very
which is
Akatosh,
different.
which is a divine. Periite
Mhm.
is the avatar of pestilence,
Oh, that's interesting.
disease.
I could have. With the green, that like sickly green.
You know
I
that
should have assumed.
portrait?
I was getting
that
very
portrait,
swampy.
like, yeah, that portrait does make him look like the avatar of the swamp.
Yeah, but I
And, like
mean,
the local wetland, the protector of local wetlands, as they
because
say.
the thing I love about Oblivion as a game, like that. Now, Morrowind had something kind of like this, but didn't exploit it really, and Skyrim kind of fucked up the formula. But in Oblivion, you could talk to all of these like Daedric princes through their statues, and you would have to do something specific for each one. With Boethia, you needed to like kill somebody friendly or something. And with Periite, you needed to drink a concoction which would just fuck your shit up. Like, your character would just take like all of the debuffs, get completely fucking ruined sick, and then you can talk to Periite. Have we lost you, doggy?
Let me just
Nintendo.
Google what
No.
Period does in Skyrim because I've never done the quest.
I just don't really know.
Look,
what
I
to
know
say.
there's a lot more going on in the story than like Zelda games, but
You don't need to talk down to me.
I'm sorry. I just went over the screen and I saw Nintendo, and I was like, I need to bring Nintendo into this somehow and shit on it.
Oh shit, I just got a notification that could actually tie us back to something we didn't talk about that we were going to talk about. So this is actually this actually makes this really fucking funny. So we were going to talk about Mike Waltz. I'm hiding that. Mike Waltz. Mike Waltz was going to be fired as national security advisor. And because of the whole Signal Gate, he was one in charge of national security, and Signal was an issue. But here's the thing.
He's just a patsy, right?
They decided to make him a UN ambassador. What the fuck?
What the fuck? So he was what?
He got fired from national security, so they put him in charge of the UN embassy.
What the fuck?
This just happened. Like just now.
What position exactly? What position?
He is a UN ambassador.
Like at what level?
An ambassador.
Like, is he
the
ambassador?
To be the U.S. ambassador to the United Nations.
Like, he would be sitting on the floor of the UN when they
to be the U.S. ambassador.
Wow! Imagine fucking up.
And Marco Rubio is going to be the interim national security advisor.
Imagine fucking up your job so fucking bad.
Yes, because they didn't. I remember this.
I only hire best people.
Wow.
The original person who was going to be the UN ambassador was Elise Stefanik, who is from New York, but they didn't want to remove her because they were worried that if she were to be moved out, then the district would become Republican, it would go to Democrat. So they don't have a UN rep that was certainly picked. So they fired Mike Waltz, and they're making the UN ambassador. Oh my god!
What the fuck?
That's insane.
That's crazy. That's like the guy. That's like fucking making the guy who burned down the company building the fucking CEO because he burned it down or something. I mean,
that's how it works. That's in such an insane revelation.
Here's the thing, though, right? Marco Rubio
Mm-hmm.
is in a fascinating position.
Why?
Wow.
So, Marco Rubio, what is his official
This
position?
He's the
reminds me
Secretary
of
of State.
Shrek 2, I think.
So that
Could be
seems like a
misremembering.
meaningless name that just means
Oh no!
whatever
Oh
they
no!
want.
No! 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 No!
What does
No!
the Secretary of State do?
The Secretary of State is the head of foreign relations. The Secretary of State
Foreign
is one of the
relations.
Secretary of State is one of the most powerful people in the government. Historically, the
Okay, but
Secretary
when
of
you say
State
foreign-
historically, the Secretary of State has had more power than the Vice President, and has been more of an important figure than the Vice President. His Secretary of State is an incredibly important position.
Historically,
Historically, as of
Marco
up until
Rubio-
last position.
Historically, Marco Rubio has said awful things about Donald.
Yeah,
What if
they ran against
what
each
if
other.
they fucking replace the entire president's cabinet with just the characters from Shrek 2?
I
God.
hope that Pinocchio becomes Secretary of the Interior.
But wasn't Rubio one of the ones who unironically
He was Rhino.
likened Donald to Hitler?
Yeah,
Like,
I'm pretty
they,
sure he
like,
was.
directly
So did
in
JD
as
Vance.
many words.
So did JD Vance.
Yes, I know JD Vance did, but also we also know that JD Vance is the office joke. No, Marco Rubio was given a lot of power,
Yeah.
but it doesn't feel like he's the one wielding that power. Like, he feels like a fall guy.
I don't know. Marco Rubio is one of the ones I have
just
difficulty
flash
placing
back-
in the Trump.
I just flash
power
back
struggle.
to when Trump confirmed him basically as Secretary of State and doing his whole before the camps were even happening, talking about the immigration policy, where he said this one line, this throwaway line. He said, "If anything goes wrong, we know who to blame."
Yeah.
Pointing at Marco Rubio, while Trump stands there making outrageous fucking claims about immigration and immigrants.
Yeah, there's definitely some of the Marco. The Trump administration has a lot of weird power dynamics in play. Like you have Trump in the middle, who both has power over people who are completely loyal to him, but is also himself completely out of power because he's just an old man wandering around the White House in his bathrobe as people around him pull the strings of the country because he is a senile old man. So
this is how you built your government, so it's your fault.
Yeah, I know. So people like Stephen Miller, people like fucking
Stephen Miller, I think.
what's that one woman?
Like
What's the
somebody
woman?
who would have played the Antichrist in an 80s movie about how business is bad, isn't it? That guy?
Yeah, Stephen Miller. He's the pencil neck Nazi.
Yes.
Um,
this is yes, I do eat babies on the weekends.
Yeah, he's insane. He's the chief of staff.
I love the taste of virgin blood.
What's the lady? What's the lady who's in charge of the press secretary? What's her name? Because she's also one of those people who
Levitt.
Catherine, yes, Levitt. Levitt is incredibly. Stephen Miller, Levitt. Yeah, Catherine Levitt. Yeah, her. She's also incredibly intelligent and is also absolutely knowing what she's doing. She's an incredibly intelligent propagandist.
She is an evil little person.
She is despicable. She knows exactly the most important way to fuck up everyone.
Evil little person.
She lied about some shit that Trump was supposed to do.
Oh, she lied. Literally every single thing that comes out of her mouth is a lie. I'm not even exaggerating with that. Literally everything she says is a lie.
She looks like somebody who eat hot chip and lie and only knows how to charge their phone.
This woman is so evil. She turns to Stephen Miller and goes, "You eat babies, I eat fucking souls." This woman is a level of evil I cannot begin to describe. She is exactly what any fascist dictatorship fucking dreams of. They could do anything.
Yeah, she is literally like a Goebbels type of person.
She doesn't need the top position of power because she knows what she's good at, and that is she will turn the entire world to eat itself if she could. She fucking evil.
I think that the true shadow president
would come out that Donald Trump is a fucking cannibal, and this woman would spin it in a positive light.
He's had many different types of meats, and he's a very cultured man. I think the true shadow president is Stephen Miller. I think that guy is like that guy who's really like power brokering behind the scenes and like manipulating the administration. People, it's either him or people close to him.
He was the head author of 2025.
No, I think that was a different guy, but he was a part of it.
You know the guy who just became fucking UN
Mike Waltz.
ambassador?
Yeah, Mike Waltz.
That fucking reminds me of like this one comedy movie I think I saw, like where like a guy just keeps failing at his job, so they keep fucking promoting him or something. I don't know.
You know, I would just love one day where Carolyn Levitt says something fucking real, like actually true.
She will when Trump dies, and she has to say Donald Trump has passed away, and then she'll talk about how he was like shot by a fucking MS-13 Hamas man with like a with a poison dart.
It would be spun. It would be spun. No, I want to hear like Carolyn Levitt actually answer something like with a meaningful answer.
What was the Biden press secretary guy? Because that guy fucking sucked. The guy who was constantly going up there and lying about Israel. Who was that guy? He was constantly going up like, Israel, we have a red line in the sand for Israel, and they're not going to cross it, or else, you know, the Biden administration will have to do something. And then Israel like blows up the red line that they set down, and it's like, well, we can't really do anything about it. No, not her. No, she was the press secretary, but the guy I'm thinking of was doing press conferences as a different member of the Obama administration. I think he was the Secretary of State. Biden. One.
Secretary of State.
Maybe he was the Secretary of State. I forget his name.
Who was that?
Hold on.
I think earlier at some point you mentioned like one of the people, like one person that you knew,
Anthony
like
Blinken?
if Trump gets rid of
Blinken. Yes, I think it was Blinken. No, that's not the guy who was speaking. Blinken is the Secretary of State, but
okay.
Sorry.
Yeah. So like who was it that said like fucking if Trump gets rid of term limits, Obama could run again or something?
That was my mom. I don't know, a lot of people.
Yeah,
have been
no,
saying
but that was going around. You see, the thing is that the nightmare story they're telling, which I mean, at this point, nightmares come true, right?
Fucking Putin did the same thing where he got rid of the term limit after he was like
exactly
already like.
The thing is that they would put a loophole in there to specifically bar Obama by saying that if you didn't serve 2 consecutive terms, then you could run a third time. But if you serve 2 consecutive terms, like Obama did, you can't run a third time. So it would give Trump the in and lock Obama out.
And then they're just gonna like fucking have more, like they're just gonna get rid of like term limits completely.
Yeah, because by the time the third term limit comes around, as long as you can keep the fucking empty husk that is Donald Trump like upright, you know, like Obama's not gonna run against Trump in like 2030 fucking something. Like if that becomes reality, then your society deserves to die. If it's Trump versus Obama in 2030 fucking something, then no, your society does deserve to die. I'm sorry, but like it needs to be people who aren't fucking senile, first of all, right? Like, number one, can we just like push that age limit fucking down a few notches where they're not actually past retirement age by the time they fucking run for president? Please, for Christ's sake.
How is number one gonna be able to do that, Lamau? Are they in South Africa?
Number one?
I can't find the guy I was thinking of.
I'm ranting and raving here.
I think we should be wrapping up.
That the society deserves to die. It all deserves to crumble. My credit score along with it, please.
I would like that for that to happen. I don't like credit score at all.
I always skip the credits, and I try to I always play the post game usually in most video games and
All
stuff.
right, are we wrapping up then?
All right.
Have I derailed
If
us?
society
We've been going for 2
has a credit
hours.
scene, what do you think the end? What do you think the post credit scene will be?
You know what? What
What?
if this episode had a post-credit scene?
Yes.
I was thinking,
Is
like,
it,
what if at the end of like a World War II movie or something?
You just die at the end?
No, I was watching like Jojo Rabbit, right? And I was like,
Oh my god.
remember, what do you mean? Oh my god, or whatever. I was watching Jojo Rabbit, and
Oh.
it's like the end of the movie has like a happy ending. It's like, yay, finally we don't have to live under the Nazis. Yay, yay, yay. And in the movie, I was like imagining in my head the fucking, what if there was a post-credit scene where it's like all of a sudden the communist flag comes down and the Berlin Wall goes up and it's like, psych, motherfucker, you're in the Cold War now. It's like, oh no, and then it plays like mid-2000s like shitty radio rock.
I need to introduce you to more better movies.
Jojo Rabbit's a good movie. You haven't even seen it. You haven't even seen
I've
it.
seen clips. I've seen clips.
That's not it. That's not the movie. That's clips of the movie.
No.
You need to see the whole movie
No.
to judge a movie.
Look.
I just assume Jojo Rabbit is probably something like Kung Fu Panda.
No, it's not at all. No.
You know, I
not even
learned my
rated R.
lesson with 2001: A Space Odyssey.
It's nowhere. It's nothing at all like Space Odyssey at all. It's
No,
not.
but I
it's not
learned
as-
my lesson regarding the fact that sometimes being the peak of what you're doing doesn't make what you're doing a good idea at the time. And
What
it
the fuck
doesn't
does that have to
come
do
off
with
very
Jojo
well.
Rabbit?
Why we know? I'm like, no.
Whatever.
I'm not going to derail us.
Subscribe to the
Bye,
channel.
everybody.
Join the Patreon so you
Have
can
a
get your
good
name in the
week.
credits.
Yep.
Goodbye, 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 goodbye.
Check out one of my games.
Oh yes,
that I'm
go
making,
check out
which will be released
go check out Anseridae's Twitch
here.
and it's twitch.tv
Check out my GitHub
twitch.tv
as
/
well.
Anseridae,
my
whatever the
GitHub.
fuck.
If you see Anseridae and you see a bird, then you're on the right track. Sometimes it's a ghost bird.
Sometimes the bird has died.
Uh-huh.
Yes, have a good one. Goodbye, everyone.
Right, see you, bye.